Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How we doing? My name is Gavin Kerr, and I am here with the most wonderful, delightful, handsome, bald, bearded man, Brandon.
I love how bald is just included in my description. Like, I have a feeling one day I'm going to win, like, some award. It's going to be, like, something I should be really proud of. And they're like, we'd like to introduce the bald guy sitting right here. Like,
Well, I think that's a compliment, because, like, I don't think I could pull off bald, but you most definitely can.
I've been it since I was 16, so I hope. I just take my hands a lot, and I go like this, and I squish until it feels like it's right.
So you do instead of styling your hair, you style your skull?
Mm-hmm. It's the only, why is my screen crooked, too? Probably because we dropped a light on it yesterday.
It happens.
It does. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought there. I'm warm. I have a hoodie on for a joke I'm going to wear, and I'm already regretting this joke.
How was your night?
It was great. I spun fire for myself.
Nice.
I went to Maya and had some Mexican tacos. And
Ooh.
oh, yeah. They have like...
I love Mayas. They're so good.
Dude, so good. On top of Maya, I had margaritas.
Nice.
And drank with some friends and just caught up, and it was really nice. It was just a good time with friends that I needed, that was people I haven't seen since COVID, to just people I get to catch up with all the time. But when I got home, my dad found a new song. Life Gives You Good Shit Too. It's the name of the song. And it's a really creative, cute song. I even put it in the group chat for our team. And I asked everybody to, like, just give it a listen and see if we could get him, because he's kind of popular, but he's not, like, you know, Usher
untouchable.
Popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's untouchable. Like, maybe LeBron James, but we're not worried about getting him.
That'd be cool, though.
Michael Jordan, I bet we could get him in, like, a year or two.
Yeah. My goal for Between the Notes is to get Miley Cyrus. That's that's a goal of mine. She's had like a weird she's had like a crazy career with how many different times she sort of changed up what she's doing to break out of the whole Disney thing.
Oh yeah. Mine for our show to get on Java Delight. You know who I would love to do an episode with?
Who?
The Free Hugs guy.
The Free Hugs guy.
He used to go around before COVID, and he'd go to like protests and like things where people were doing things, and it was meant to be a very negative situation, but the people there are trying to, like, you know, bring awareness to something. And he'd walk around with a shirt that said Free Hugs, and he would literally just hug people and tell them how awesome they were and walk around hugging everybody. I'd want to interview him because he just has this energy about him. Or Prince Ia. Have you ever heard of Prince Ia?
No.
Oh, wow. I'm going to send you some of his stuff. He just literally, like, uplifts, encourages, and he's a monk, and he has these, like, eyes that are, like, piercing blue, And I'm like, dude, like I listen to you because your eyes are so captivating. Like, yeah, good stuff.
Have you seen Mall Guy?
Are you talking about the Ohio Mall guy, the guy that goes to all the different malls, and he has like the most ridiculous outfits on?
Yeah, Mall Guy.
I love him. He is actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be fun to get on here. There's also here in Cleveland, I want to get the Grinch on here. We have a Grinch in Cleveland that rides his Harley during
do you really want to meet him?
I do. I'm curious. He seems intriguing. Yeah, during the colder seasons, before snowfall, he rides his Harley around Cleveland wearing a Grinch outfit.
The guy who does that, he got hired as a side gig during the Metro Parks, the zoo. Yeah. And they had a bunch of characters all dressed up all over, and they had certain locations. I know him personally, but I didn't know he got hired by the Metro Parks. And I'm walking up with some friends to do this like picture with the Grinch. And the Grinch starts hitting on me. And I'm not talking lightly, like doing it to get me uncomfortable. He's like, so think I can make your heart grow 3 sizes? And I'm like, what? Like, he just kept, and I'm with friends that are completely not that type. Like, they thought I was like swinging that way because of it. And I'm sitting there dying. I'm like, no, and I'm looking at him, and all I could see is his eyes, right? Yeah. I'm staring into his eyes going, I know you, but I can't figure out how. And he's just like, he's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, I was like, he was like, I get to play with Brandon Croucher. I'm like, oh, this is even scarier because people know I like to screw with people. So like, he knew he had me. I was all in, and the friends I was with, by the time we were done, he was walking up behind me, just tapping me on the shoulders, screwing around, and they were dying. They were like, I got a picture with him, and he tagged it on social media, and that's who I figured out who it was.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty amazing, man. So we gotta get this Grinch guy on here then.
Easy. Wait, buddy, we're gonna get a lot of people on. So what did you get into last night?
Last night, I finally watched Cherry. I have a friend who has an Apple TV account, and she gave me her account, so I finally watched Cherry last night. And I saw myself clear as day.
I saw you clear as day. You look good in that video, by the way. Like, the abs are showing. You're dancing like you're having a good old time.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, my abs looked great, not because I work out, but because we shot for probably 6.5 hours, and it was freezing cold, so I was outside freezing cold, flexing my abs for 6.5 hours.
That does not sound like fun. That sounds like torture.
Oh, it was a blast. It was great. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. That was like the only downfall, was that it was kind of cold, and I was just like constantly flexing because I was self-conscious about it, and also it's going to be in the movie. But no, it was a blast. So I saw myself. I was very happy with the scene that they picked. I thought I looked very good in that, and then that was my little 3 seconds of fame. But then the rest of the movie was, and honestly, I thought it was phenomenal. I went through and I sat and watched the rest of the movie, and I couldn't stop watching. You know, I didn't go on my phone for 1 second. If I had to let the dog out, then I had to pause it. Like, the entire movie was just really, really intense and felt very real. I know a lot of people who are addicts, and I know a lot of people who are in the military and really struggle with PTSD because they were in live active duty. And I've talked to them about the movie before I've seen it, and some of the addict things I've seen firsthand myself. And I got to say, they hit a lot of things nail on the head really, really, really well. They got it perfect with a lot of the things to deal with PTSD and drug addiction and what it's like being in the military, from what I've been told as far as the military goes. But it was a very great, intense movie.
I'm going to have to watch that. My parents have Apple TV, so I'm going to just turn it on So my dad and I are on a really bad streak right now. We don't usually like the same shows, so we've been trying to pick something different that we both agree on. The other night, it took about 45 minutes for him and I watching previews before we agreed on something. But it's okay. We're both compromising. But we've really realized that maybe we should not like just pick a random one off of Netflix. We picked 3 different shows in 3 different days to just watch the first episode, see if it catches us. All 3 of them had sex scenes in them, and I like within the first like 3 minutes. And the one we didn't even understand. Like he walks in, he goes, "I could use a shower," and then next thing you know, they're in the shower, and it's like it seriously looked like a porno. And I look at my dad and I go, "What is with you with picking these? Like, dude, for real? Like it didn't look like a movie." And I'm sitting there going, "Dad, I let you pick shows and you pick these things that are inappropriate. Like, good Lord." And he's like, I'm not trying to. And I'm like, I get it. It like for real, the one in particular was really bad. And both of us were like, just turn it off. 10 minutes in, I don't want to watch that stuff with my dad in the room. Like, especially long ones that have no connection, or she's not like someone that we even know yet. Like, I'm like, come on, make it feel. Hands made tail. Good point.
Have you ever seen The Room? With Tommy Wiseau. There you go.
Between that and you know what? I have to ask something, or like I have to add something. I did go on a date. I almost forgot I did not mention. I went on date night with the Dugases. At the end of the night, I did not get the big D. I just got pictures. That doesn't sound right either. But at the end, they sent me a picture. Jessica did of her and Phil, and it's this cute picture, and Phil's driving and all this. So I send a picture of me alone in my car going, "Yay, date night!"
Oh,
I'm okay with it. I took myself on a date. Like, nice. I like to be able to get out, but like you got to take care of yourself and you got to love yourself. So I took myself on a date. Jessica Dugas says she needs to watch that movie. And what part is it? Jessica, when there's a party, do yourself a favor and just pay really close attention to the guy with the abs.
Yeah, it's in like I'm in like the first 10 minutes of the movie, which was very nice and convenient because it allowed me to actually enjoy the rest of the movie. But and like pay attention to it, which in all honesty I would have done anyway because it is a phenomenal movie. But I'm within like the first 10 minutes. The way that like it happens is Tom Holland is talking about he's got this little blonde girlfriend who is very, very cold-hearted. And he starts talking about the parties that she makes him go to all the time. And then he goes to the party scene. He cuts in. I am to the right at a beer pong table, just drinking and cheering. And then he talks some more. And then the camera comes around and he's talking about how we're in like a sex dungeon kind of thing. And which we're not really. He just, metaphors. And then the camera cuts over and you see me right behind him while he's talking, just ripping my shirt open and just riding this girl. So honestly, it's pretty fun.
I think that is the best description of it because truth is you've described it. Joe goes, "What the hell did I come back to in the private chats?" Yeah. Gavin's described this in at least a dozen times in front of me. And every time people are like, "Oh, where is it in the movie?" He's like, "I haven't seen it yet, but I know that I'm dancing behind this girl and I'm just riding her." And he does the same motion every time. And I love it because he's like, I'm riding her and just getting on there dancing. And he's like into the movie, into what he's doing. And I have not seen it. And then all of a sudden yesterday, Gavin puts a 3-second clip up. He goes, "Can you find me?" The camera pans and literally, boop, there's Gavin. And he is just doing the exact move he does every time. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I actually feel this is like a life circle complete. I finally see it firsthand.
Yeah. The Russo brother came up to me and it was so funny because he's talking to me. He's all like, "Hey, so you're going to go down on your hands and knees, all right? And then you, son, I need you to get behind her and ride that ass. Ride that ass." That's how it went down.
You did your job. I give you an A. Yeah. So, Gavin, we have Joe coming on in a few.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody remembers. Joe's nickname is F Joe. And he is, because he's that part of the workout that you don't want to do, Joe's going to be here going, all right, guys, you got this. And I'm going to want to throw up. But don't worry. I've got me taken care of today. I have a puke bucket. I tried to switch rooms to a more open room where there wouldn't be as much stuff. But the camera didn't look right there, and I had to restart. So I restarted it. Literally everyone remembers last Wednesday and Brandon on the floor. Did you participate? Did you join in? Don't make me get Officer Unicorn here to come and take you away, okay? So, Gavin, everybody, I want you to start writing it. Ready? Whether it's porn with pops or whether it's whatever you're into. I just thought that was a great name. Tell us what you're grateful for today. Gavin Kerr, start us off with what you are grateful for this morning.
No, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the things that are given to me in life that most people I feel like would take for granted. Like yesterday, my mom's boyfriend JD had a insane amount of wood. He chopped down a tree in the backyard, so he had all this lumber that he just had no use for. And I asked him out of a whim, just, hey, do you know anybody who has a whole bunch of like lumber that I could have to chop? And so he said, yeah, and he brought me over literally 2 trailers worth of all this lumber now that I get to chop, which I'm very grateful for. I'm going to start doing I'm going to start doing gardening in the back with these huge 4x4 garden boxes and doing my own vegetables and spices and everything. And I was telling him about this, and it just so happens to turn out that his sister has 5 of these in her backyard that she's getting rid of. So I'm just getting those.
Bonfire? Can we do a bonfire in your backyard?
Yeah, I have a little fire pit. We can do that. That's why I'm chopping all this wood and stuff for a bonfire.
I love it. I just asked because I love to make fires. You know that.
And then actually, the wood that I have, most of it is cherry wood, which is extremely good for cooking. So we could do like could do like hot dogs and smokers and stuff like that with all this cherry wood that I have now.
Would Joe be invited? He doesn't live that far.
Yeah. I don't care who comes over. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, you don't? All right, then I'm gonna start making the flyer today.
Okay, as long as they bring something. It's going to be like potluck style. You got to bring something, chips or potato salad or something.
I love pot style.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm grateful because
Mary Jane is not invited to my house. Sorry, Brandon.
I'm sorry, I had to cough that, but I caught myself up. Brian Tracy says if we plan it far enough in advance, he'll jump on his bike and come to Ohio. That might not be exactly how he wrote it, but that's how I'm reading it. Yeah. Brett Gordon says, good morning. I woke up. I'm out of bed, 5'6", above ground and looking out for the sun. Yeah, today it is sunny out there.
I thought he was about to do a slate for a second. That made me laugh. A slate is what you do before you do a video, before you do an audition. So like you'd walk into the room or you start the video and you'd say, hi, my name is Brett Gordon. Or I guess I would say, hi, my name is Gavin Kerr. I stand at 5'10". I'm with PMT. You say your agency and then where you're from. And then you begin your audition.
What's your agency?
Right now it would be PMTM is what I would say.
Wait. I may be incorporated for my trip to Hawaii. When are you going to Hawaii, Tokyo Bento? I want to join you. And there's votes going on that Mary Jane needs to be at your house, buddy. I think we're going to have to do like a vote on this at your house. I'm going to call your mom.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. See how that goes. Call my mom. Say, hey, can I bring Mary Jane over to your son's house? See how that goes. Best of luck to you.
She probably wouldn't like me for that.
No, not at all.
Fine. End of July. Ooh, Gavin, we're going to be in Vegas end of June. Should we just jump on a plane and fly to Hawaii for the rest of July?
I've just sent so many emails, but we can do that. Yeah. I need to find somebody to watch the dog.
Fine, we won't. I am grateful for this morning that I was able to not only wake up, I'm grateful for the fact that it's been a good week so far. We've had a lot of good things going. I've been getting my workouts in, my meditations in. I took this week as oh wow, he's going for a whole month. I took
my God.
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually my old wedding anniversary, August 22nd.
Aw.
Yeah.
Memories.
Vegas in June sounds hot as fuck. I'd come, but I'd melt. Jessica Dugas, just so you know, I sweat eating ice cream in the winter, so I most likely am going to lose weight sitting inside an air conditioning building in Vegas with it being as hot as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm grateful for a lot of great things happening. Getting my workouts in have been good, but I've been getting a lot more organized. I've been creating a to-do list every night before I go to bed, and it makes me feel better. I have my to-do list for the show I made, so that way I keep myself on track. I even have my dumbbells ready for our workout with Joe today, which I should probably move to the other side. Are you ready for that?
Yes, I am.
I even got Joe a thank you present for us on air. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a Boreos sticker, like Oreos, but for boar. A Rick and Morty sticker. A My Chemical Romance sticker because they gave it to me. And then to end it all, I ask.
Oh, it's just got a little sticker pack for him. That's sweet.
It was more that they gave them to me because I was having fun laughing at them.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that.
Oh, Joe got me these, so they're going back to Joe. I knew he got me these. That's honestly, I found them when I was cleaning the other day. But I am grateful for all of you, and thank you for you all throwing what you're grateful for into the comments. Today's guest, we have a very special guest coming on in about a half hour. Mr. Dieter Randolph. Dieter is a third-generation minister, so he's going to talk about God, and Gavin's going to challenge it. He is a writer, a coach, and a teacher, and a podcaster. He also builds websites, worked in a record store. The fact that it says record store threw me off for a second. Like, I have not heard it called that in a while, and sold used cars. I love that he worked in a record store. That's probably got to be our first question, just so you know, Gavin. Like, what was it like to work in a record store? Did you sell 35s or did you sell 75s?
Yeah.
Dieter is on fire to find ways to take the spiritual experience beyond the traditional church setting. With that idea in mind, he has spoken and taught in countless venues and formats all over the country. Wherever he finds himself, people find him. Dieter is here to help you find Dieter is here to find a life that you love and feeds into you, making you the best you can be. When you win, so does the world. Man, did I stutter over that last part. I apologize. He's going to be a great guest. We're going to learn a lot about who we are and how to build our best selves, but at the same time, about records. And I don't know about you, Gavin, but I do have a few records I like to listen to.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That was actually something that I was doing for a while, is if I found a song that I really, really liked, I'd go to the artist and I listened to the entire album, because that's how I used to do it. Like, if you wanted one song, then you listened to the whole album. Like, you had to go buy the whole CD or record. And a lot of times I find that a lot of the best songs are not the most popular ones either, so.
I actually agree 110% with you on that. There's been a bunch of albums that I buy, and then they end up being, truthfully, better with other songs on the album than the one that is the big hit. But
yeah,
what I believe, and this is probably just me, I'm weird, but when you do listen to something, when you do watch or you listen to an artist like that, you're buying the record, listen all the way through, because usually they're telling a story through it, and the record goes hand in hand. I love Gary Clark Jr. because from the start to the end, every song connects in a way that he's telling you a huge story about something going on in his life and him building him up. And you don't know that unless you listen to the actual record. Well, the album. But I agree with you on that. Now, you have a lot. It means he's older than Brandon. Well played, Joe. Joe's in the back laughing at me. But I think this is going to be a fun one because of the fact that I know it's going to be a fun one. You say record player, you say all these other things. We're going to get a workout in today. I probably should open a window and turn a fan on. Joe's already nodding his head yes.
Yeah.
Gavin, are you ready for today?
I am ready.
What do you have planned for the rest of the day? You were talking about it backstage, but I was getting my...
Yes, so after this, I have another Between the Notes meeting, or Between the Notes episode that I'll be recording with the band Sepsis. Very excited about that. We were supposed to have it a couple times now, and then I had to reschedule once because of a conflict, and then they had to reschedule once because of scheduling conflicts, and we're finally getting together. So very excited about that. And then after, let's see that, because that's going to be, it's going to be 1 to 3 hours that we'll be recording. I don't know, it all depends. That's how long my episodes go. They go anywhere between 1 and 3 hours, depending on how the conversation goes and how much time we both have as well. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to chop some wood today, probably. I got to go to the store and get some stuff, and then I got DJing tonight. I'm doing, what day is today? Today's Wednesday.
Where are you DJing tonight?
I believe I'm doing a show at Hatfields. There's a party going on there, and I'm doing a trivia show.
Ooh,
and then at Hatfields, yeah. And then actually, speaking of Hatfields, this Friday will be my first karaoke show at Hatfields as well.
I actually have to be on the West Side on Thursday. So Monday or today and Friday, I'm not going to be on your side of town. Otherwise, I would have come and seen you.
Oh, well, on Thursday, I do karaoke at Tony K's, so you can come see me then. Yeah, this bastard.
That was hilarious because Joe just starts laughing. He's like, he knew I was going to do something, but he didn't know what. Honestly, maybe I will come out. I honestly should come see you at your thing. I just don't.
You gonna sing?
No, I don't karaoke.
Why not?
I don't think I have a good voice, if you want to know the truth. I really don't. I can talk all day. Wear
a onesie while you do it. I don't care.
That makes it harder on me, believe it or not. For real. As weird as that sounds, I wear the onesies to make others feel good about themselves. I cannot sing. Being up front, wearing a onesie, thinking I can't sing, makes everybody there feel that energy. And I feel they're making fun of me in their head already for my singing. Then I'm in a Care Bear onesie, and I'm like, I would pick on myself. I hate singing in front of people. But if you get me in a car alone,
have a dance with Mary Jane, and then drink some alcohol, and then you'll be the best karaoke singer that we've ever seen.
Buddy, I love you to death. I love you. I've had people get me obliterated drunk just to get me to sing the last song of the night at karaoke, and I've only sang like 2 or 3 times ever. I did sing Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah one time, seriously.
Yeah.
So, all right. Joe's going to be getting us ready. Let me get myself turned and my camera turned. Guys, really quick, remember 1 square at a time. Brandon and special guest Sarah draw out their superpowers in the movie Soul. Yes, set yourself up because I'm going to set up the next one. And remember to check out our special guests for Soul, the movie Soul. They're supposed to be cutting and pasting it in the comments, but instead they're posting it in the private chat. Paste. Boom. One square at a time with Brett Gordon and Brandon Croucher, special guest Sarah Nelson. They draw out the superpowers in different movies all around and be able to help check it out. There's YouTube. Join us. And on Thursday, we could share this for everybody to be able to come on. I saw Oingo Boingo in San Diego in 91. I have to be honest. I'm going to tell you a secret, buddy. Gavin, can you hear me? Okay. Do you remember when we were in that abandoned building the other day for the meeting?
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry. Hey, there was a delay at first.
You're good. Do you remember when we were in the abandoned building the other day?
Yeah.
Do you remember the band that was written and autographed the wall?
There was a bunch of them. I'm not sure which one you're talking about specifically.
Oingo Boingo?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brad and Tracy saw them in San Diego in 91.
That's pretty sweet.
Admit, that's pretty freaking weird. All right. Let me set my camera up. You bring Joe in. Start having a conversation with him. I posted it in YouTube. Oh, that's okay, Brett. It's posted now. I appreciate it. Sorry, Brett's trying to make sure he's running the commentating in the back and all that. He's doing a great job being a moderator today. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett at Businesses Are People Too. Do yourself a favor. Send an email to Brett at Businesses Are People Too. That's businesses, not business. And make sure you connect with him and tell him who your favorite superhero is, because he would love to do a podcast with you with your favorite superhero. All right, Gavin, bring Joe in and let's have some fun.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? Buddy?
Good. Just chilling.
Good. Sounds good. I read through the exercises today, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a lot less cardio than last week, but a little easier to be informational and just kind of lets you guys pay attention a little bit more to the chat. Definitely.
And then I'm all suited up and ready to go.
I say, you got top to bottom Spider-Man. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's go. I'm ready to go. So we got some dumbbells today.
I guess dumbbells beat camera and rock paper scissors.
Yeah, and now there's water everywhere.
Water beats camera. Dumbbells beat camera, and water wins, I guess.
Water beats everything electronic.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
I'm cleaning up.
All right, I'm ready, Joe. What do you want me to start with?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't like it, sorry. I'm just waiting for Gavin, buddy. He dropped his camera.
Yeah.
So
I dropped everything.
Joe, we have a show tonight. Tell us about our show tonight. Do you remember anybody who we're talking to? Because I don't, and I'd have to go behind the computer again.
Well, I know tonight we're going to be going over that at 4:30 for a while, but I know you're extremely excited about the guest. Their name, I believe, it's DAI. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Yeah.
I thought it was that too. DAI.
Yeah, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but I know that they have a really big following and they're doing a lot of exciting things. So me and you are going to be doing a lot of research and really looking into this and having fun tonight. So I know that's the important part. So you guys both got the exercise list and things like that?
Yes. On my computer.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to read it out real quick for certain people in the chat that want to know all these things, and as well, just to be a little informative. We're going to start off with mountain climbers, which is going to work the shoulders, hamstrings, core, tricep, quads, and it's also considered a full body exercise and as well going to be really good for cardiovascular. Then we're going to go into what's called a butt kick, which is a little name, but it's an explosive move that works your hamstring muscles and your glutes, and you could also use it for a dynamic stretch for your quads.
I'm ready.
Anyway.
Yep.
So we're just going to do mountain climbers for 30 seconds, guys. I'm just going to let you guys time it. That way I'm not focused on a stopwatch. We're going to do 2 sets of that and then 2 sets of butt kicks for a warm-up, and then we'll get into the dumbbell section, okay?
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, guys.
All right.
Just count on 30 seconds.
Mountain climbers. 1, 2.
That's fine with me. I'm nice and comfy. I'm cozy.
8,
Brandon, just knees to chest. You don't have to do
Bro, I'm doing the other one.
You're doing the Spider-Man push-ups. Yeah. And just keep your butt down a little bit, buddy. Thank you, Brian.
My mom put more stuff in this room, so I have even less space now.
Hi.
All right, B, you're good.
I had a puppy dog interfere.
Gavin's got a visitor.
All right, go on.
Some of the best videos are watching when the dogs doing their owners workout. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Joe. What's our next one?
You're gonna do mountain climbers one more time. We're just gonna keep it simple today. Nothing crazy. You don't have to go super fast. Just keep it nice and simple so people can be a little educated and just see the workout. So 30 more seconds of mountain climbers, and then we're gonna do butt kicks after that.
Cool.
Brandon will be okay, Brian. Trust me.
Tell us the story, Joe.
No story for you. No story for you. I'm going to go over what butt kicks do, and then you guys are going to do those, and then I'll go over what each exercise does and what muscles it hits.
Is that my butt kick?
No, you guys are good. We'll do like a 30-second, 1-minute break. I'm trying to stay off a timer today.
Cool.
Brandon, you look a lot more comfortable this Wednesday, though.
Yeah, he does.
Like you could breathe, you know, your skin can breathe a little bit. You're not sweating already, like, and dying.
No, I am.
You look a lot better.
Well, that's because I worked out this week more than just the first time in 6 months.
Yep.
I don't think it's been that long.
Gavin's just doing his Spider-Man warm-ups before he actually goes and kicks butt.
Everybody gets one.
You guys ready to do butt kicks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming you both know how to do those since I sent you the email. Okay.
Yeah.
So just standing and then heels to butt, and you don't want to land on your heel. You want to land on the front. And once again, that's going to work your hamstring muscles, glutes, and also it stretches out your quads. Yep, Brandon, you got it. You could start off slow, B. You don't have to go super fast. I know you with your knee, you got to be careful. Be worry about balance and being safe before speed. There you go.
I'm not even going fast, buddy.
No, I'm just making sure, and you don't want to land on your heel. You want to make sure you keep balance and land on your toes.
I'm doing my toes.
There you go.
I feel like a ballerina.
Yeah, he does got the Tom Holland going on. All right, that's good, guys. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of count my head. I'm not going to really focus on a timer today.
Cool.
Brandon. We should do a show called The Views of Brandon and just have all different views and rooms and places with Brandon just talking.
I like that idea a lot. Just get like a bunch of GoPros.
Wear the Spider-Man thing, and it's kind of like Where's Waldo, and we have Gavin hiding in certain views of Brandon. All right, you guys ready? Last set of butt kicks, and then we'll get into some of the dumbbell stuff.
Yep.
All right, different view of Brandon. Go. You're running like that. You want Hudson Power. Come on, Brandon, take it serious. Because I know you know how to work out. I like Bento's comment. That's funny.
Oh.
I do like 10 more seconds, B. Come on.
Oh, I was counting.
Yeah, I know, but you kind of stopped and Gavin didn't, so I just felt it was fair. All right, that's good, guys. Where's Baldo, Brett? I can't really laugh at that, though, because I'm bald, too. I can't, laugh at that as much as I want to. So the next exercise we're going to get is one that most people are very familiar with, even if they don't work out. It's just a standard bicep curl. And the bicep muscles is the upper arm and also the muscles of the lower arm. So you're going to work your different heads of your bicep, meaning the front part of the bicep muscle and is the inside and back.
All right. How many reps are we doing?
Just going to keep it nice and easy. Just 8 each side.
All right.
For Brandon, though. Brandon, just 8 each arm, buddy. Just no standard, one arm, single arm at a time. There you go. And just breathe while you're doing it to give yourself some oxygen and blood flow. Did you just punch yourself with the dumbbell, Brandon? And for every exercise, guys, we're just going to do 2 sets just to keep it easy because we don't, the 30-minute time period.
Sounds good.
Brandon, are you just doing it like to infinity and beyond?
Yep. And Buzz Lightyear.
I respect it. I mean, we have the ball look like that's the ones that you need.
Oh, I do, don't I?
That's a good one. Gavin, you could just do your second set because Brandon's just going to keep going, I guess, until I say stop.
Oh, I did 2 sets already. You said 8, 2 sets.
8 on each arm, yeah.
Yeah, this is 6.
Well, Gavin's being a good friend and waiting for you and everything, and there's you just running a marathon with your biceps.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What am I welcome? Yeah, I see that. That's very clever.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the next
that will be the OnlyFans version of the View of Brandon's edition.
Brandon, my spidey senses are not tingling right now.
All right. So next exercise, guys, is going to be a side lateral dumbbell raise, which is just one arm at a time. And that is going to focus on the lateral deltoid, which for all of those who don't know, there are 3 parts of that muscle, your front, your middle, and your back part of the shoulder. So this is going to be more focused on the middle and building that. So just going to do 8 each side for 2 sets. Just one arm at a time, Gavin. Just nice and simple.
Okay.
Yep. Just keeping it nice and simple. Okay. I can't really tell Brandon because the angle he's at because of the camera. There you go, B. Yep, just out to the side, look forward. You're good. Just 8 each arm. We're gonna do 2 sets. B, your shoulders a little tight today. You doing all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
You do too many bicep curls to infinity and beyond?
No, I'm ready. I'm mad my sticker isn't sticking.
And then, so for those watching this as well, you're going to do a lot more weight curling than you are doing these shoulder raises. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your weights.
And if you see somebody that does it the other way around, run away.
Run away.
Yeah.
Run away.
Run away.
Just some dude like basketball-sized shoulders and then softball-sized biceps.
Run. It's not normal. They probably have powers.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do one more set of the side lateral dumbbell raise. And then we're going to go into a little bit of abs and legs after that.
Cool.
Use all your arm, B. Don't cheat. Come on. And then just keep breathing for oxygen flow. There you go.
Tell me a joke, Joe.
You know I'm not the type of guy that just randomly keeps like popsicle jokes in my pocket.
All right, somebody tell Joe a joke so he can read it.
Yeah, I don't really do the jokes off the top of my hand. You guys good?
Yep.
Good.
Good, perfect. So we don't need to take any breaks and we can go right into a low plank then.
Yep.
Here we go.
Which low plank versus a lot of other ab exercises is an extremely safe exercise just because of the position it's in. So people with shoulder injuries, me included, you're not putting a lot of pressure on your shoulder because you're on your forearm. And what it does is allows your body to sustain a workout through a long period, a lot of muscles. So your core is engaged, your arms engaged, and you do want to keep your core tight while you do the exercise. So this isn't really going to focus so much on building just abs as a cosmetic. It's going to help strengthen the core, which if you golf, if you deadlift, if you squat, like doing yard work, core strength really helps improve a lot of lifestyle stuff. Brandon, you ready?
I've been doing it.
Well, I can't tell because you're a camera angle.
All we can see is the top of your bald head.
That's also a bald head.
Yeah.
Yep, and Brian's right. Never jerk the weights. That is how you get hurt. Just gonna do 30 seconds.
Yes.
So, Gavin, you're probably good now, buddy.
Brandon,
Brandon's trying to look into my soul or what he's doing. Never mind, that's a safer look. You're good, B. Because I'm trying to make sure that we stay on a good time so you guys have time to get a little bit of a protein shake or something before your guest. So we're going to do one more set, a low plank, and then we're going to do goblet squats, and I'll explain what those are after the low plank, okay?
Cool.
All right, go ahead, get it.
Is nobody going to tell a joke?
Better on your sweaty forehead than your shirt.
The shirt's dripping. That's why.
But your head looks like it just went to a car wash.
It did.
It did. Moisturize every day.
Hey, Brandon.
What?
What's the difference between an abandoned bus station and a crab with big boobs? One is a crusty bus. One is a crusty bus station, and the other one is a busty crustacean.
Oh God. I don't know if that's the PG popsicle jokes that we're looking for here on the Java Delight. It was funny.
At least he made me laugh.
It was funny. All right, you guys
PG-13.
because we're gonna do goblet squats.
What do I do?
I can hear you breathing, so that's good.
What's really weird is I'm all like 5 feet away from the mic.
All right, so goblet squats, guys, it's going to be just like doing a body squat, except you're going to hold the dumbbell in the middle of your chest. And just like a body squat, it's going to work all major muscle groups, lower body, including your quadriceps, your glutes, hamstrings, calf. And it's also going to help strengthen the shoulders and biceps and your forearms and ab muscles because all of those are engaged in a squat. So, Brandon, if you want to look how Gavin's doing it, you can hold it like this, too, at the top, right by your chest. You can hold under it. You can hold the middle, whatever is most comfortable for you. Depending, some people have shoulder injuries and issues, so they have to hold the weights differently. Some people have back and leg issues, so there's always modifications we could do, but we're just going to do a standard goblet squat, keep it nice and simple.
Cool. 8.
Yeah, we're just going to do 8. And the big key here, guys, is just take your time. It's not about doing it fast. You want to make sure that your butt's back and that your back is straight and not rounded. And you do not want your knees to go over your toes, okay?
Yep.
So just 8. Yep. And Gavin, try to just imagine like sitting back on a bench. That's the best way to do it, like when you go down. And you want to try to keep that a little higher. So maybe grab under it like Brandon is, like grab under the 2 plates. Just to make your grip a little easier and keep it up on your chest. Yep, that way your arms and forearms are engaged. Keep your core tight. There you go. Perfect. And then just because I can't see it, just make sure your knees aren't going over your toes.
Yeah.
I know you could see it. I just can't because of the camera angle.
How many am I doing?
Just 8, B. Just keep it nice and simple. I mean, goblet squats are really good. Like, for example, I have back issues, so I can't do heavy squats like I would love to. But goblet squats are a good way for me to do something weighted that still gives me results. And it does keep a little bit more tension on the front of your legs than the back, so it's not putting as much pressure on the spine either.
Nice.
You just doing biceps for fun? Say fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just making my tattoo bigger if I get my biceps bigger.
I can't have the Ninja Turtles out showing me.
That's right. You got to have bigger biceps than them. All right, guys, one more set.
Donk. That's how we make it.
So technically we have 2 more workouts, guys. I'm going to let you pick out of the last 2 which ones you want to do just for time. We could either do the overhead dumbbell tricep extension, which is going to work on all 3 heads of your triceps, or the walking push-ups.
Brandon, it's your call.
I'm the one that told Joe to work us out.
All right, overhead.
All right, perfect. This so we're just going to use 1 dumbbell again. You're going to kind of have the same grip. So the overhead tricep extension is more of a strength move that targets the back of your upper arm, tricep, and it's going to actually hit all 3 heads of the tricep. So it's extremely effective, and it's yep, Brandon, just like how you're doing, except you're going to use both hands. So you're doing a single arm. Yep, we're going to do a double arm. There you go, just like that. And then Gavin, you're going to want to stand unless the ceiling is in the way. Then you could do it the way you're doing it.
Okay. I was having it so people could see me, but I can adjust the camera.
If you're comfortable doing it that way for safety on your knees, then you're more than welcome to. I just don't want you to put any unnecessary pressure on your spine or anything like that.
Yeah. I was doing it more so people could see without me having to move the camera. I was being lazy.
Yeah, you're good. And then just nice and slow, just 8 reps, and that's going to hit all 3 tricep heads. And then Brandon, as you know, very important to make sure you're breathing through your exercises. Yep, and just make sure you guys get the pinch and don't lock your arms too tight at the top. There you go. Perfect.
Are you guys working out with us?
You know they're not.
At home, making fun of me. Your excuses. Not getting up. Not getting out there. Joe.
Ready, B? Last one, and then we can talk for a couple minutes before your guest.
Cool.
Last set. Just 8 good reps, B. And another key thing for all those in chat or people that are interested, when you're doing this exercise, you need to make sure that your elbows are not too far out, and that's going to be different per person based on your shoulder width. So do what's comfortable. If you're feeling a lot of pinching in your joints or in your elbows, that means either the weight's too much, you have some internal issues, or your elbows are just too far out if you're not really feeling your triceps engaged properly.
Awesome.
How you feeling, B? A little better than last week? Not as bad? A little more weights?
Yeah.
I'm doing dumbbell sitting exercise. You could do that. You could do dumbbell curls while sitting.
I could see him backstage. He's not pushing any weight.
Well, I can't. So you can call Brett up on that. I can't.
Hold on, Joe. You ready?
Yeah. He could be though below the camera. You don't know. You know? It looked like
he's like, oh, this is a great workout, you guys. I'm really feeling it.
Some of us are sweating more than others, Brandon. Oh, guys.
So how did that feel for a quick, 25, 30-minute one?
Great. Really good. Good warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and simple. A little bit of legs, a little bit of, abs and core, a little bit of weights. Yeah. And, I mean, the goal, I think, with these Wednesdays, little 30 minutes, is just to keep it simple. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of a little bit educational.
The thing that I like about, because in all reality, I've been asked before, who needs to work out once a week? But that's not what it's about. This motivates me to, go to the gym regularly because I am doing something. And that's what – it's a nice warm-up. It gets my blood flowing. It reminds me, hey, it feels good to exercise even when it doesn't sometimes.
Absolutely. And, I just want to keep it simple. I want to keep the Java Delight, mojo the way it is. I want it to be your guys' show. I don't want to make a whole educational piece. That's something we'll do more on the H or on a fitness show a little later down the road. But, I just want to keep it fun, safe, where people can learn a little bit, see a little bit. And then, honestly, I think it's a great way to show people that the DDC network practices what they preach, at all levels. And
most
I
definitely.
know Brandon's a little tired, but Brandon, you agree? Nod your head. Yes. Eyes work too. Okay. And I know a lot of you guys like to tease Brandon, but for once, let me step in his corner and defend him. Brandon's worked out with me at the gym and did a lot harder workouts, and he has a lot of heart. So he is struggling a little bit more to make everybody relate a little bit more and understand it's okay to struggle through workouts. It's okay if they're hard, even if they're easy. But it's the fact he's doing it. I promise you, he can work out a lot harder than you think.
Yeah. COVID doesn't help either. Yeah, the break of COVID either.
Well, that I started to work out at home, and then I just let life excuses take over, and that was me.
Yeah.
Like, I got my new pair of running shoes, and when I thought those were gone, I went and started like using that as an excuse and other stuff. Now I found
you were so mad about those running shoes.
I got a $200 pair of running shoes that I only paid for $60 for. Okay. Yeah, at a clearance store.
But they're still very nice shoes.
Yeah, and they're like really good running shoes. But the thing is, I donate a bunch of stuff with Sarah to a nonprofit for homeless people. And the box was next to the thing with all the donated stuff. And I didn't realize it got grabbed and thrown in there. And then I realized a year later that Sarah actually put them in my car in like an area I don't usually go to, like under stuff when we were cleaning. So we were doing two things at once. So I found them, but it was after I yelled at her and told her she gave away my shoes. So I had to come back and apologize. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
But that's still doing the right thing, right?
Yeah. And all my shoes have been like hand-me-down shoes. I can't say the last time I bought a pair of shoes because I just get people like.
What shoe do you wear?
What the hell is my shoe size? That's a great question. I want to say like 10, maybe 9.5.
Okay, I have a bunch of shoes I'm getting rid of that are 10s if they actually fit you. Like, I'm either going to sell them for like nothing or donate them. So.
Yeah, I'll look through them, see what you got. But this is my point. See, people are just like, this is what I'm talking about, Brandon, this morning.
Like literally once.
Yeah.
So they're not really a hand-me-down. They're like out of the box fresh.
Yeah, if you're just giving away shoes.
As I used to be. So I'm just trying to get rid of a lot of stuff I don't use. And they're nice shoes, but if I don't wear them, what's the point of keeping them?
I understand that. I'll only take them if I have a purpose for them, like an exercise shoe or something like that, or like a running shoe.
These would be more like going out and looking like nice shoes, like while you're DJing or doing stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely take
It'll give you some diversity and color with some outfits.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I will definitely look at that.
No
This is what I was talking about earlier. I'm grateful for the things that life gives me. It's very, very nice. Helps me save money, and it helps get rid of waste in the world. Because if nobody took them, I'm assuming you just throw them away eventually.
No, I don't like waste either, and I'm really big on at least donating things. Like I always try to like resell like things if I barely use them, and like say if I got a pair of shoes for $50 and they're like brand new, I try to sell them for like $10 to a friend or something. And if like they don't fit or like no one wants them, I would rather give them to somebody that would be thankful for those shoes, or even donate them so they could be resold at a thrift store for a couple bucks versus just throwing them in the dumpster. Yeah,
absolutely. For the most part,
and
if you have something that is functional, if you have something that's functional and in decent condition, somebody else could use it.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. And if everybody's like, I don't want it, I'm like, all right, I'll donate it because there's somebody that will be thankful for it eventually.
Yeah.
Hi, Brandon.
I have
3 minutes left to annoy you.
What?
I have 3 minutes left to annoy you, and then I get to do it again at 6 on the H.
Yes, I'm listening. I got my earbuds in.
I'm a functional in decent condition. Way to go, Brett. So our guest today is Dieter Randolph. He is a third-generation minister. He is a writer, a coach, a teacher, and a podcaster. He is also, I will in a second. I'm reading the bio. I can't see 15 things at once, Mr. Joe.
I was just saying thank you to Phoenix.
Oh, thank you, Phoenix. You
also love getting you off on the bios where you can't get all messed up.
Like, I can't read out loud. I have to focus. He's a writer, a coach, and a teacher, a podcaster. He built websites, worked in a record store, and sold used cars. Dieter's on fire to find ways to make spiritual experiences beyond the traditional church setting. With that idea in mind, he has spoken and taught in countless venues and formats all over the country. Where he finds himself, people find him. Oh, wherever he finds himself, people find him. I read that.
There you go. That makes more sense.
That makes more sense. You heard me say it. Nope. Dieter is here to help you find a life that you love, one that feeds you instead of making you feel tired. We're all in this together. When you win, so does the world. Guys, this is going to be a fun guest today. It's going to be a good conversation with a lot of good things. Thank you, guys. Amazing guy that Joe. Is Joe the one making these comments? I think he's the one. He's the rising phoenix. I
Nope.
don't believe you,
Keyboard
Joe.
up, dude. I don't got it. Hand check.
He's making these comments complimenting Joe. He's making sure, I can be reused. Okay, Brett. Rising Phoenix. Joe is right here. He is great. He keeps everybody going in an exciting way. Thank you, Joe, for coming on, being able to build us up, build a workout routine for everybody.
I'll be in the chat in like 30 minutes, buddy.
Nah, you got it, buddy. And we really appreciate that you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, give Joe one last thanks. And Joe.
Peace out, Joe. Thank you.
I removed him. I'm tired of Joe.
Well, I appreciate Joe.
Hold on. I got you. Bye, Joe. He was ready too. He knew I was going to do something. So our guest today, Gavin, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, Dieter Randolph. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to say hi to Dieter for us.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Doing great. How are you doing, Mr. Randolph?
Good. It's really good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, it's great to have you, man.
I'm sorry if we're out of breath. We just had Joe, our workout guy, on, and he worked us out pretty good today. I'm like sweating still. I had to change shirts because I was just dripping. And Joe comes in to help us all get like a 30-minute workout. So we know how important it is to have the heart rate up that anybody can do from their house and sitting in their living room. So
nice.
Next Wednesday, I want you on there with us, Dieter. Are you going to come on and do some Superman push-ups with us?
You know it.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
So, am I saying your name correctly? Dieter,
yeah.
Just
I've gotten all kinds of variations, but you did it right. Thanks very much.
I love it. I was making sure. So you talk about the ministry and going places and being able to spread the good word. Can you elaborate on that and what you actually do?
Well, I started out, like I said in the bio and you read, thank you for reading that. My parents are both ministers. My grandparents on one side are ministers. So it's like the family business. It's one of those things. Yeah. And, like a lot of things, like if your parents own a skate park, you're probably going to skateboard. It's just one of those things that just kind of, you pick up on it. But it's a funky kind of pressure because it's like there's big hunks of that where you're like, there's a lot of church stuff that maybe doesn't apply super well to late 20th, early 21st century life. When the word like church comes up, a lot of people think of hate and fear and all kinds of crazy stuff that is not especially healthy. On a personal level, it's like, being the church kid, you don't hear the good jokes. You know what I mean? And so everything in between that, it was like, so, it's one of those things where it's like, while I have always felt a sense of calling, wanting to do that kind of thing. On the other hand, it's like, man, some of this stuff doesn't feel right.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so imagine like the normal stuff you grow up with as a kid when you begin to realize that your parents are completely insane. Those moments where you're like, oh, they don't know what's going on. And sometimes you're wrong, when you're a kid, but you have that feeling. Well, imagine that plus the idea that every single Sunday, hundreds of people come up to you and go, you are so lucky. Your parents are awesome. You start to go, oh, maybe I'm crazy because everybody else is cool with this. So there's a lot of stuff going on all at once. But I was an overachiever, and so I went to seminary very early. I started college when I was 13. I got elected team leader of my church stuff, and so they flew me all over the country to go speak to groups. I've been doing this forever. Yeah. But I got to a point in my early 20s where I'm like, as much as I feel this sense of wanting to connect people with something bigger than themselves, there's a lot of stuff I'm just not down with, and so I quit. I walked out. Go ahead.
What were really quick? What were some of the I want to do like both sides. I don't want you to just like tell us the negative, or like the positive and the negative, things you did agree with, the things you didn't agree with what you were preaching.
Yeah. Well, what I agreed with is the idea that your life has got to be about more than how much money you make. We're here to serve one another, help one another, and matters of ultimate concern are really the only thing that's worth talking about. These are huge things. The idea that we're all in this together, just like I say. But on the other hand, like I said, my particular church wasn't doing anything bad. I mean, obviously, it doesn't take long on Google or whatever to find some pretty scary crap that churches do.
Yeah.
And while mine wasn't doing that, I didn't like being lumped in with that on the one hand. But on the other hand, there was just stuff that just didn't feel super relevant. I mean, most people nowadays would just as soon sleep in on a Sunday morning, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places where church is building walls when it should build bridges.
So I'm going to run with you on that. If you have more, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's all good.
When you say that, because just full disclosure, I'm a former youth pastor, and nice. I now own a weed company, just to give you how big my difference came. All right.
Love it.
Me too. I'm loving your story so far. How do we fix bridges I'm not just going to go church, in religion as a whole. Mm-hmm. If they're going to keep burning them down when others keep going, where I'm going with this.
100%.
How do you do this?
I think that a lot of interesting things happen all at once. I think that there are some people that are earnest and honest believers in something. It's okay if it's not specifically what everybody else is believing in, whatever, but there are people that have some kind of a sense of calling in their hearts, and they're going to go figure it out.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what's real wins, right? Sometimes it takes a really long time, but at the end of the day, truth outs, So on the one hand, individuals are starting to figure that out. But also I think that a lot of times traditional churches are falling apart because it's not okay anymore to justify some of the stuff that we see, some of the racism and sexism and purity stuff and weirdness. It just doesn't fly anymore. Because church is not the kind of establishment that it used to be. Things change, and I think especially with stuff like COVID, people go, oh, wait, I can work from anywhere. I don't have to go into the office. Similarly, people are like, wait a minute. This is not a holy building.
Yes.
And I think that's really, really important. It's one of the things I talk about in my book. It's like, look, there's no such thing as like a consecrated Home Depot where you go to get special blessed drywall and crap. It's just a building. You make it a church, for example, or a temple or a synagogue, whatever you want to call it. You make it holy ground, let's say, by your desire to experience something bigger than yourself in the context of community. That's what church is. It ain't a building.
Yeah.
And so this decentralization of COVID has just intensified the idea that, oh, wait a minute. You can't give me something I don't have when I've always had it in my own heart. And so on the one hand, I think people are getting more and more hungry and more able to connect with that hunger. And on the other hand, I think the stuff that ain't working, people are realizing they can do without. And as a result, it's the same thing as like, nowadays, almost every big company, big business, they have to do recycling because it's become an economic fact of life. In the same way, I think that institutions are going to have to deal with the idea that, wait a minute, we are all in this together. Otherwise, they're just not going to survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it works.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, Kevin.
That's actually something that I've definitely recognized throughout, no matter if a person believes in God or not, is they all have, at least in my generation, they've come to this conclusion where they feel like they're not comfortable or they don't have to go to church, because if they truly believe, they truly worship, then it doesn't matter where they are. They have that love and they're giving that love back. That energy is flowing through them, whether they are in a quote unquote holy building or they're at home in their mother's basement playing video games. Like,
sure, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I think that one thing I would say about that is we're going to get to a place where we start really owning and recognizing the need for community. I mean, we saw it during COVID once again. It's like, oh man, I gotta be around some people because I'm going to disintegrate. But it's the same thing. It's like, you've got a better sound system in your house or your car or on your phone than you can get at a concert, but you still want to go to a concert.
Yes.
And I've got a pretty sweet TV, Blu-ray, whatever. I have a much better movie going experience in my living room. And I don't have to pay $4,000 for popcorn and sit behind some idiot on his phone. And yet, man, when the James Bond movie comes out in October, I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, there's something amazing about we need each other. And right now, there's not a lot of places where you can experience spirituality in a context that doesn't feel like the old world invading again. But I think those things are starting to open up. It's one of the things that I'm a big believer in, and I'm trying to pioneer some stuff too, but I'm by no means the only one. But I think that we're going to figure out that, just as you say, being in your basement and experiencing genuine spirituality, 100% valid. Yeah. But I think we're going to have to marry that with the concept of community if we're going to actually grow in that.
Absolutely. So, I feel the community when anytime like I have a great experience with somebody and they tell me God bless. Because personally, I'm not religious. I don't believe in God or anything like that, but I still say God bless back because I know that they're saying it to me out of love and respect and out of that community. And I want to do the same thing to them because, you know, I'm giving them, it's a positive experience or exchange with one another, whether piss off, Brandon.
I love it.
Yeah, whether you believe or not, the positivity is real and the love is there, and that's what it's about. That's the community part that I appreciate so much of it.
We're going to get to a place where it's easier to recognize that nobody agrees with you. Everybody's got a slightly nuanced, a slightly different point of view. We're going to get to the place where that's okay, and you don't have to be a jerk about it. Yeah. If somebody says something that isn't 100% in line with your sensitivities. You know, we're going to get to a place where we're like, oh, clearly you meant that as a positive thing instead of some kind of pejorative. And so I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's like holding a door for someone. You hold the door just because you're holding the door to be nice. When you don't get the thank you like you were anticipating, you let your own anxiety get in and you want to yell at them for not saying thank you. It's the same type of thing. For me, I agree with you 100%, just so you know. The walls that were built for churches are meant to keep the religion inside, and then they preach about going out to the world. And I think that the community is honestly something that they should be out getting into more. And for people, it's I have a degree in public administration, and I learned a lot about inner cities and how like gangs are formed and all this because of learning about things like lower income areas. And that and what interests me is how they have, for every church, there's a like bar or a club or another place. Like it's like good to bad, but those are filled and the churches are not. And the reason is because, as weird as this is going to sound, the strip club people are out there walking the streets, talking to people, while the church people are staying inside fearful.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
We have to be able to see, like, look, you could say, oh, Jesus talked to the prostitutes and his friends were the tax collectors, the worst of the worst, 100%. But at the end of the day, when you keep yourself surrounded by only people who are fearful of those people and not wanting to show the light that's in them, it separates you from being able to create a community of true individual faith or following faith. And that's where my problem came in with churches. There was a lot of people who knew the right words, but their seed wasn't planted in faith. It was planted on the foundation of a building.
Yeah, and there's like some kind of weird secret handshake crap that goes on. Yeah. And I want to take just a moment and say that I 100% have seen that in quote unquote mainstream churches. But I got to tell you, I've been to a lot of quote unquote progressive churches, and the same level of like closed-mindedness you get because, I didn't face the four directions properly or do the right hand signal when somebody started talking about energy and stuff. And there's the same, there's the same level of like, it's just the same thing, but somebody's changed the nouns around. And I think that we're going to get to a place where we recognize that being closed-minded and exclusive is the same, no matter what language the book is written in, and so this is super healthy that we're getting to this place where we recognize that there is genuine community in a bar, in a Starbucks, and we crave it, as you can see, once again, from all the people who have freaked out during COVID about being alone. 100% valid response. But we're going to have to get to a place where it's okay that we go out into the world instead of trying to get the world to come to us.
Agree. 100% agree. How do you recommend we do that? And you have the next question, Gavin. That way I don't trip over you again.
You're good.
I mean, it's simple things. I mean, I was part of a church, just to put a cap on the story. I left for a while, but people kept finding me, and I got really successful in computer stuff. I ended up working for Google for a while. I made money, did all that, but I wasn't happy. People kept finding me. Like, there'd be like a meeting and somebody would say, hey, can you stay after the meeting? And I thought it would be about, TPS reports or whatever. And they'd go, hey, I'm going through a divorce and I want to know, that kind of thing would happen all the time.
Yeah.
And so I ended up going, okay, you know what? We're going to try to figure this out and start building the church that we want to go to instead of the one that has to exist, that kind of thing. But so the church that we were involved in for a while, the church that my wife and I started, we really believe that you got to go out into the world. And so this is a long way around to answer the question. There's a lot of churches that are what they call attractional. In other words, we got to get people to come in the door. And so they offer everything. We're going to have a skate park here in the church, and you got to, be washing the blood of the lamb before you can bleed all over the half pipe or whatever. It's like some weird, that kind of stuff. And we'll have we have our own food pantry, and you got to come in and listen to somebody talk about Jesus before you get a sandwich or whatever. And that's attractional. Everything is about getting people in. And I always thought that was funny, because it's like, if the measure of your success is butts in seats, that sounds a lot like McDonald's, billions and billions served. It's like, I guess that's a measure, but it's not a guarantee of a good meal. No. Yeah. So maybe you didn't do your job. Just because a lot of people go to McDonald's doesn't mean it's the best restaurant in town.
Right.
And so the other model, other than attractional, is what they call missional. And that means going out into the world. And so in the church I was involved in, we didn't start our own soup kitchen. We just went to a soup kitchen and helped. Mm-hmm. We didn't do our own thing. We would just go out there, and we never we'd have a t-shirt on from the church or whatever, but I didn't even care about that. It's like nobody's going to hear my speech. I'm going to give you a damn sandwich, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think that this is actually a good lesson for individuals. It's not just a church thing. This is a lesson for individuals. I think so often it would be really healthy if we got really good at just giving whatever it is that's on our heart to give: attention, love, money, whatever. Instead of going, wait, I'm not going to give to you unless you validate my crap first. That's super weird and dysfunctional and selfish and everything else. And it's so weird that that's become normal. And so we're going to unlearn that.
I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I really do love that. I was talking to, you're good. Mine's going off to group chats and whatnot. We're both
I'm like turning notifications off so nothing's beeping. And I'm like, why is there beeping? Sorry. Go ahead, Gavin.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just talking, it's funny bringing this up. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this, saying that if you do any kind of charity work, it should be just that. It should be at the kind of start. You should never expect anything back from it. And then on top of that, you shouldn't be judged if you do or do not try to do charity work. If you do it, then that's wonderful. Do you have the kind heart? Don't expect anything back. And if you decide not to do it, then nobody should give you shit for it either. Like,
totally agree.
I walked past a homeless person. I had a couple extra dollars in my pocket, so I gave it to him. I'm not saying that for any kind of praise. That's just what happened. But in the past, when I've done that before, I've been with like friends or classmates on like school trips and stuff like that. I went to Chicago for a school trip, and everybody was giving homeless people change and stuff like that. And other people were like, "You shouldn't do that. They need to go find jobs and stuff like that. You shouldn't try to help them." Yeah, and we were also in like the 7th and 8th grade, so we're just starting to identify and figure ourselves out. So
I get that.
People have their own opinions. Yeah, but in my mind, you shouldn't give people shit for doing any kind of charity, but then you also shouldn't expect anybody to do it either, is what I'm saying. And it seems like you figured that out at a very young age. Was there a specific point when you came to that realization of, hey, we need to be giving much more than we're taking, and the way we're going about this is wrong? Like, when did you decide that you wanted to create this sort of new form of church, in a sense?
Well, there was a lot of little things that happened as I got older. Like I said, I got to the place where I just couldn't avoid it. It's like, okay, I have to do this because this is on my heart to do. But there was something that happened when I was younger. I was probably like 12, 13 years old. And as I said, I'm a minister's kid, so I was always around it. And what would happen is people would come in from all over and they do like a workshop or something. And one of my favorite memories is, because I was an only child, one of my favorite memories was after the workshop or the class or the whatever it was over, we'd all end up at like a Denny's at like 11:30 at night, which was awesome for a kid anyway, right? This is special. But But more than that, I was the only kid at the table, and I get to talk to these people who have been everywhere and talk to everybody. You know, that was really cool. And it really helped me figure out what I want to do with my life. But there was this one time we were at like a Denny's kind of place, and it was late. And we were like the only table, and we were talking about whatever. And I was trying to hold my own as the only kid on the table.
Yeah.
But
I've been in that position a lot.
Yeah, love it. This guy comes in, and he's clearly homeless. You know, you can tell.
Yeah.
And he kind of talks to the hostess, and, you know, you can see that she doesn't really want him to come in, but she doesn't have a good reason to tell him to go, kind of a thing. Because it's late at night. The place is empty. What does she care if he comes in for a glass of water or whatever? Doesn't really matter. And I have this moment where I was trying to be cool. And it's not different maybe from your classmates on the trip to Chicago, where I kind of came from the wrong place. Because again, I was trying to be cool, and I'm like, I'll get a load of that guy, you know, and I don't remember what I said, but it wasn't kind.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like the vibe was, you know, what's he doing in here? Isn't that wrong? Isn't that something? And now I'm going to come, my background is Christian, but I don't want that to be the turning point of the conversation. It's just that this was impactful for me because that's where I came from. Yeah. There was another guy at the table who had given this great workshop, and everybody loved it and stuff like that. And he looked at me, and it was like those moments when the record skips. And he looked at me and he said, "That's Jesus Christ." And he got up and he bought the guy dinner, and he spent the rest of his night sitting next to that guy, listening to his story. And he wasn't trying to get him to be saved or it wasn't like that. He was just talking to him. Because sometimes the best gift you can give to somebody is looking him in the eye and go, "Hey, I see you as a human being."
Yes.
And in that moment, I realized that, oh man, this is important. And no matter what you hear on a Sunday, because look, I had absorbed all this crap. I had been through it since I could talk, and I had been missing a really important point. And that is that we're here to see each and every person as the best of each and every person. And I put that in my pocket. I think about it all the time. No, I don't always give people money, because sometimes it doesn't feel like the right thing to do. Sometimes it's very clear that it's like, okay, this is not, you don't really need money for a bus ticket to get back to wherever, dude, in the Target parking lot. But, even then, sometimes it's like, look.
He's smart, though. Think about it. The people that go into Target, they're not sure how much they're going to spend when they walk in there. We all do the Target thing. You walk around, and then next thing you know, you went in for diapers or toilet paper, and you walk out with a cart full of onesies. We know how this goes.
100%. 100%.
But
so, it's one of those things.
I had somebody come up to me in a parking lot one time asking me if I could give them some gas money because they had locked their wallet in their car.
I'm like, well, but
just try to wrap your head around that for a second.
It's pretty good if you do it fast enough. But it's like, but the thing is, even in those circumstances, you're giving, that's a matter of your heart. What they do with it, even if they're going to, like the biggest con artist on the planet, that's on them and what happens to them next. So there's a level at which you can't cheat an honest person, right? So there's a level at which it's like, look, I'm just giving because it's in my heart to give.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I mean, I'm not answering a whole lot of emails from Nigerian princes that need my social security number, but there is a limit. But once again, I think that's up to the individual situation.
So with that, I agree 100%. And I think that, like you said, you need to be open to situations. You need to be open to what might be coming, because as an individual who I tried to live my life the way I would want others to treat me. So when I see the guy on the side of the road that I see every day when I get off my exit, and he's there, and I see just in the time I'm driving by 15, 20, maybe 30 cars go by him and nobody do anything.
Right.
I put myself in that mindset and say, how would I feel in that 30 seconds of a light being green and everybody at that was there just ignored me? I would be, I would start to hate myself, and I already hate myself. I don't need that, like I don't need extra, but every time I did, I started to stop, and I saw the impact it made. That I bought him. I go, "What's your favorite type of smokes?" Because I could see he smoked, and he told me, and I went and bought him a pack of smokes. And that's not me bragging, but it was that little thing that after that, every time I drove by, he remembered me, said hello and said my name, and I said his. And he goes, I just want you to know how much of a difference that makes for me. And it floored me because I'm giving him something so simple, but it made such a big difference.
Well, and it's not even about the thing. It's not even about the pack of cigarettes. I mean, that's awesome. But really, I think what it comes down to is what we said before. It comes down to, what can you do to make sure that somebody knows that you see them as a human being? You know, there are so many parts of our culture and society that dehumanize. I mean, everywhere you look, there's some new way to be part of a machine instead of a human being. And so it's a revolutionary act to look somebody in the eye. It's a revolutionary act to take one moment and give, whether it's time, attention, money, cigarettes, whatever it is, just to take that moment to see somebody as an equal. And I think that that is revolutionary because it flies in the face of the basic idea that you are how much money you have. We've been told for so long that there's some kind of a connection between money and happiness, and it's just dumb. It's dumb, and everybody knows it's dumb because look at like one of those, you know, Real Housewives of whatever shows. And what you see is people who always have buckets of money and who are not only completely miserable, but it seems like they're completely dedicated to make everyone else miserable. And that's the show, right? So you have this idea that you know about people who have money who are not happy. And you know damn well that you can be miserable in a private jet if you want.
Yes.
And similarly, you know people, and look, I've been somebody who had nothing, but still had happiness, a sense of purpose, some kind of pride. So given that there's a complete disconnect between money and happiness, we're going to get to the place where we realize that is a stupid metric for judging how good your life is. And so if we can decouple that a little bit, it becomes easier to give to other people.
I agree.
Absolutely. I think what happens is it's not the money that we think that money is what we're craving, but what we are craving is just that to be seen. But it's like a drug where we build up a tolerance to it. So you have the homeless people where they get that very little bit of humanity given back to them. They are seen in the smallest way, and it means the world to them. But then you have these housewives who the money is what allows them to be seen by more people, but then it isn't enough after a while. Once you're seen by tens of thousands of people all the time, you think to yourself, I need to make more money to become more famous, become more popular, become more seen. And then what ends up happening too is you have people where it happens extremely fast and they're overexposed. They almost OD on this sort of metaphorical drug where you have the breakdowns of shaving your head and buying and crashing crazy cars and just getting dumb stuff and going insane, basically. But it's kind of like a drug being seen.
I think also that there's that's true for sure. And I think there's another level to it as well. And that is that it's about being really seen. In other words, it's like if you're famous for being famous, does anybody actually see you, or do they see the Fendi bag and the expensive, you know, I don't know brands, expensive crap, let's say? Do they see the image? They don't really see you. And so, you know, you can be incredibly wealthy and all people see is the Rolls Royce and the Rolex. They don't see you. And so you're just as hungry as the person who doesn't have 2 dimes to rub together because nobody sees them either. You have the same problem. It's just a problem that, you know, also comes with caviar, but it's not any different mechanically. It's the same problem. And I think that this is really important because we need to be able to ask ourselves, first of all, am I capable of really seeing the people in my lives? Not for what they can do for me or what they've done to me, but rather, can I just see you for you? And similarly, am I doing my part to make sure I'm sharing my story, let's say, with somebody? You know, I do relationship counseling and you know, a lot of times the problem comes down to one person not seeing the other. And sometimes really, really simple, goofy things work really well. Like I'll tell somebody, look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to plan a date that's a day long, you know, take a Saturday, whatever, and give that person a tour of you. Really show them what makes you tick. You like jazz, go see a jazz show. You like museums, go to a museum. You like going to the beach, show them what your thing is. And make sure you've really shown them your heart. And if you can do that, then you're seen. And look, not everybody wants to see what you have to offer. That's how you know whether or not you're supposed to be together, for example. But that's a start. You'll never know if all you're doing is living up to your impression of, I don't know, somebody on a TV show that you think is suave or some crap. That doesn't work. We have to see each other.
Are you waiting on me, Gavin? Because I asked 2 questions.
I thought I asked the last question.
That's okay. I have another one. I was making sure, because Mandy Atterbury asked if I saw her thing. I wanted to make sure if it was something I needed to bring in for Dieter and all that. I switched over to let you ask. Dieter, so my question is, I'm going to bring your book up really quick. Okay. I was looking at your website and all that, and I love how you, there we go. It should be there. The common, or the cure for the common hopelessness. And I was reading this before the show. Can you talk to us a little bit about why you wrote a book about hopelessness? I mean, obviously it's more than that, but like, that's a word that a lot of people use to describe how they feel about themselves. That's a word that a lot of people use that just, it's such a negative connotation of a word. And I think that understanding that it's something we're choosing to sit in, it's like quicksand, is very different. What made you want to write a book about this?
Well, I think that, like I said before, it's a matter of a lot of little things. But for this, there was one definite catalyst, and that is, as a minister, I have been to and conducted and been a part of, I don't know, dozens, if not hundreds, of funerals. Right. And I've been to a billion of them. You know, it seems like, and there's a really interesting thing that happens. I mean, first of all, I'm honored. It's kind of creepy to say you look forward to funerals. I don't, but I am honored by that, to be a part of that rite of passage, that moment of, okay, this is the next thing, you know, the whole deal. It's really, really a beautiful thing if you let it be. Yeah. But more than just being at the funerals, excuse me, more than just being at the funerals, the thing that happens that I began to realize happened every time. I hadn't made the connection initially, but people are confronted with, you know, the ultimate, you know, whatever their sense of the next thing is. Let's be as generic as we can. Yeah. And as a result of that, people at funerals have really interesting insights, deep ideas, something that is broken through for them, some kind of a fear that they, oh man, I didn't realize I was afraid of this. There's big stuff that happens. But the funny thing is, you're sitting next to cousin so-and-so and aunt so-and-so. You don't want to turn in the middle of this grieving moment and go, hey, you know what occurred to me? You know, it's a weird time. And so people tend not to talk to their friends and family that they showed up with. But then there's this one guy at the front of the room who they probably don't know very well that they can talk to. And so people come up to me and say the most amazing things. I've heard it all. I've heard incredible dirty jokes at funerals. It happens. Yeah. I've heard all kinds of stuff. But the thing that happens all the time is people want to share some kind of breakthrough they've had, and they don't know who else to tell. Yeah. And I have heard incredibly beautiful things. But I got to tell you, this is what did it for me, is although I have heard everything, the one thing that I have never heard in all my years of doing this, dozens, if not hundreds of funerals, is I've never heard anybody say, hey, you know, that was a beautiful ceremony, and I love the sentiment and the stories that we told and all of that. I love everything about that. But, you know, I wanted to hear more about their shoe size, and I wanted to hear about their credit score and how much money they had. I wanted to hear about height and weight. Yeah. Nobody ever asks about the data. Nobody. Yep. And the reason why that really broke through for me is I realized I was sitting thinking about that. And on the other hand, it's so easy to see that so many people spend so much time chasing data. If only I could make a few more bucks. If only I could make a few more dollars. If only I could lose a few more pounds. If only I could get a few more likes on my Instagram picture of nachos, you know, whatever it is. It's like everything is quantified and made into data, and we spend our lives chasing it when we know damn well it doesn't mean anything. Yep. And that's why people feel hopeless, is you're digging in the wrong place. You're measuring yourself with the wrong yardstick. And so I wrote this book with the idea that, okay, well, let's figure out what is going to do it for you. Let's figure out something that's meaningful and work on some tools for chasing that. So that's what started it for me.
I love that. I feel like with social media specifically, it's created this, you know, anytime that like you feel like you're being judged, you feel shame about something, they are the ones judging you. They are the ones being pushing. But who the hell is they? Well, now we have they in the palm of our hands all the time. They are approving of everything that we do. They are the ones clicking the like button, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff.
It's weird, right?
Think it really is, because in all reality, unless you go through and actually check who it is, and a lot of times they're fake profiles or the people you've never met before in your life, so they're still just a they. You have no actual connection to these people. But since you've done this for so long, and since social media has blown up the way that it has so quickly, have you seen a change in how many people come up to you and how intimate they get with you in personal conversation-wise since social media has evolved over the years?
Yeah, I do. I think that a lot of weird stuff has happened all at once. I think that there is, as we said, a real dehumanizing tendency. And you see, like Gamergate and really abusive stuff you see happen because it's easy to forget that someone on the internet is a human being. Yeah. Right. Because, these are just words and I'm just kidding around. But you don't realize the impact that has. And like I said, it comes back to a failure to be seen, a failure to see somebody, because you're just some goofy profile pic. And, it's not real. It doesn't feel real. And you don't realize these are real people that have been hurting. And so there's a dehumanizing tendency. And as a result, the pendulum swings the other way. And so when there's a chance to make a real connection, it's like, oh my God, another human being. Yeah. And I think sometimes people don't know what to say, but there's this feeling of, oh, wow, I got to tell you something. There's something, and we're losing the ability to communicate our feelings because we only talk in memes now. But there's this thing that happens where it's like, I want to say something, lol. There's something I want to do and say, and there's this feeling of connection. But there's another piece of the social media thing that I think is really crazy, and that is that we don't actually see they very much. Mm-hmm. The whole Facebook algorithm, and you see it in other places too. Like you could see it in Amazon, where Amazon's like, you like this, I'm only going to show you things that are more like that, but that basic idea is at the heart of what makes Facebook go. And that is the idea that I'm going to only show you things that are part of your little bubble. Yeah. And it's really easy to believe that that's the only things in the world that happen, and when there's a presidential election, I don't want to get too political, but there was a lot of people that thought, well, I think everybody thinks like me. And then you find out they don't. You're like, wait, there's a whole other world out there? According to my Facebook, this is what's going to happen, because you only see this really curated, insulated thing of people who agree with you. And that's a real problem, because we don't grow inside our comfort zones. Nope. One of the main things in my book is get out there and be uncomfortable.
Yeah, what taught me actually that everybody has such big different opinions was one, doing extracurricular activities in school, not just like one type, not just like music or just sports, but doing all different kinds, but then also working in a full service restaurant where I have people on the line cooking who usually tend to be more Republican or like that blue collar mindset. And then I also have the waiting staff, who usually tends to be either more of like a white collar mindset because they're going to college and everything for that, or they tend to be more of a red collar mindset where they're very, very free flowing people, and everybody has these different opinions, and you think, holy shit, none of this is exactly what it's a mixing pot essentially. It's more of like a salad bowl because we're all here together, but we're not fluents. We're more like our separate entities inside of this one area.
And we need to get back to a place where that's okay. And that's one of the things, going back to the thing that you brought up a long time ago, Brandon, and that is that there's community in a bar. Mm-hmm. The reason that works,
I just agree with you.
The reason that works, well, you said strip club, but the reason that works is, we won't talk about where things come from, but the reason that works is in a bar, coffee shop, strip club, bowling alley, whatever you want, you are going to be presented with different opinions.
Yes.
But you can have a beer with someone you don't agree with, and it's fine. Yeah. But we're losing the ability to do that. What we see more and more with stuff like Facebook is a demonization of the other, with the idea that if you disagree with me, it's not just that you disagree with me, you are some kind of other being. You're not even a human being. You're something else. And the only other time we saw that is in Nazi Germany, guys. So this is kind of serious.
Yeah.
We got to get to the place where it's okay for people to be other and let them still be human. And that's something that frightens me a little bit because we're not good at that. But I'm inspired that we can get there. But in the meantime, as we're figuring it out, it reminds me, the word idiot. It's a great word, like the word idiot. It comes from the Greek, and it means a private person. In other words, someone who is not exposed to the opinions of others. That's where the word idiot comes from.
Huh.
You become less of an idiot when you're exposed to other opinions. That's how this works.
So when I call myself an idiot now, I'm literally calling myself a private person.
Yeah, and like you're someone who's not aware of the rest of the world. That's what an idiot is someone who is not aware that there are other opinions or thoughts or other people. You're just about you and there's nobody else in the world. That's what an idiot is, technically, as far as where the word comes from.
So, all right, I love that because I think of it in so many different ways. But I saw something I wanted to jump back to really quick, which was Brian Tracy made the comment about nature is his church. I personally, all right, so I say whether you pray, meditate, you go on hikes, I spin fire, and I have to be honest, when I put headphones on and I start spinning, I'm in my own world because nobody can come inside this 6-foot bubble that I create, and they don't want to because I have a hole and get burned. I'll hit them with the stick that I'm spinning around. My thing is, it's when you spend that time alone, it's going out and being there. I love to be in nature. When the day is sunny, I work outside. For you, being and coming from the church, I used to think I had to bow at the end of my bed and pray. I even taught my dog, I'd say, let's go pray. And it would put its paws up there. So like, I that was what my mindset was. But today I look at it and I'm like, whatever your view is, be you. Go out. If nature's going to be your place where you can leave your phone in your car and you are just connecting with a higher power to let you be you, I like when people find themselves. And for me, for me, it's you don't find that until you're willing to be alone. You don't find that until you're in silence. So it's that hopelessness, like your book says. Like you're in a spot where you're ready to learn new things. You're ready to get out and break into you. And that's the thing that I think it takes. Like we always hear like the stories in the church. The best ones are, I was a drunk. I was living in my car. And then like Jesus came into the car and the car lit up and now I'm saved. And it's like, wait a minute, there's so much more that happened there. And that's what is the story and the meat that people need to understand is you're going to go through hell. You're going to go through problems and you're going to feel like it's hopeless, but you have to find your you and love you to get through it. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, I was going to say, how does Dieter fill Dieter up? Like with that love to be able to go spread positivity, joy. Well,
I think that the work really does feed me. It really, really does. Getting to talk to you guys, for example, this is huge for me. This kind of thing is awesome. I love sitting and writing. I love all of that. There are a lot of little things that I do. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, so I'm right by the beach. I go to the beach all the time. You know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But visiting. Nice. Yeah. Anytime. but that kind of thing. I think that you have to find stuff that feeds you on an individual basis. But what I would say is, remember with me that every hero has what we can call a wilderness phase. Obviously Moses goes out into the wilderness quite literally. Jesus has a wilderness phase. Elijah, it's all over the Bible, but in fact, it's in every single movie. Every hero, it's part of that Joseph Campbell hero story thing where there's this part where the hero has to go away for a while in order to come back. And the thing is, I think that we have been so burned on our institutions that we don't know how to come back. And so, quite frankly, it is absolutely important to find something that feeds you on an individual level where you got your eyes closed and the headphones on or whatever the equivalent is when you're in the car, you're in the woods, whatever it is. Find something that feeds you on an individual basis. But remember with me that every hero has this in common. Heroes come back. And what I'm saying by that is it's really easy because we've been so burned to feel selfish with our spirituality. and just be like, oh, this is about me and this is my me time. And I get it, man. I totally get it. But it doesn't matter too much if you're not doing something about it. It's like, it's cool when somebody says, my church is when I stand on my roof and shout at pigeons. Cool. Whatever. They're going to arrest you. But before the cops come, it's super cool. Do that, whatever. But great, get your batteries charged up and then go do something with it. It should not be the case that you get spiritually charged up just so you can put up with a miserable life and a stupid cubicle job more. That's not it. That's not a hero. A hero is someone who gets charged up and then goes and makes some kind of a difference for somebody, whether it's buying a pack of Newports for a homeless guy or just something, being a nice person in the world or working at Habitat for Humanity or anything in between. The world is a better place, not when we're just feeding ourselves, but when we go and do a thing. And that's the thing. So many times when you look at, once again, I come from a Bible background, so I can talk about that. But when you look at a Bible story, what I tell people is the miracle is not about the miracle. In other words, there's no point to, walking on water isn't so, hey, if you guys follow my rules, you get to walk on water too. And won't that be cool? No one will ever need pool noodles anymore. That's not it. And it's also not about, hey, look at me. That's not it either. The point of any miracle you read about in scripture is now go help somebody else. And I think no matter what your religious, spiritual background is, take that away. It's like, go find your thing. It's great if nature is your church. I get that. I love that. But what are you going to do about it? That's the next question.
Right. I agree.
Yep.
So how do you go out and spread your positivity and your message? Now, I say that as someone who loved going down and watching the Rays play the Indians. We're from Cleveland. And St. Petersburg Stadium, Tropicana Stadium.
Tropicana Field, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I loved your field. It's air-conditioned, Gavin. And it's like Tampa and St. Petersburg are absolutely gorgeous cities. Fun to go run around, hit the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the community there, you guys have a lot of churches. You have a lot of different things you got going on. What do you do that brings out the faith of Dieter?
Well, basically what happened for us is during COVID, there was a while because I had been leading in church, as I said a little while ago. And during COVID, I was like recording it from my living room. We were doing live stream and stuff like that. And it was still cool. We were doing what we could. But I began to realize that, I really want to ask questions that I forgot to ask because I got so complacent in just making this thing work on Sunday mornings. And I'm quite proud of all of the things that we did. And I still love everything that we did. But it's like, okay, I'm going to step back now from even what the word church is, because that's a loaded term for a lot of people. So what we've started doing is, and I'm a believer in church. I think people should go to church. I don't care if they go to my church. I don't care if they go to the church that I like. I just think that's a counterpart of this. Go find some kind of religious community because it will make you a better person and you'll make it better. Right. So I'm a believer in that, but I decided the best thing I can do for church is to not have one. And I know that sounds funny, but I realized that my thing now is I go and speak at a church somewhere once a month. And like I was up in the next town up, Dunedin, Florida, which is not too far. I'll be in Atlanta later this year. I'm going all over the place. So I'll do that once a month. But once a month, I host an event at a coffee shop. And I know the owner. I got her to stay open late. And I just talk. And I get to talk about stuff that people would be uncomfortable with in church. I get to swear if I want to swear. I do different stuff. But there's no praying. There's no passing the basket. There's none of that. We don't call it a church because it's not even explicitly religious. I mean, we talk about stuff that touches on spiritual things, but it's not necessarily about that at all because I want there to be no presumptions, no paradigms. It's just the thing. And people ask questions and we just go through it and we figure it out. And it's a very organic thing. It's moving forward and it's going to tell us what it wants to be. But guys, I am so excited about being able to do that. Not calling it a church gives me latitude to do whatever I want to do. Not having it on a Sunday morning means that people can still go to church the next day if they want. It's that kind of a thing. It is absolutely so much fun to be a part of that. And I'm so excited about that. What feeds me? That feeds me.
I love that. That's a great answer because you're giving back, you're getting out there, you're spreading the positivity that you believe in. You're using your fire to create a forest fire, like the Bible says in Mark. I have it tattooed on my back right here.
Nice.
So
Very
like
cool.
that's why I'm like that's one of my favorite verses, and I just think that that's awesome. Guys, follow Dieter. I just posted his website up there. Here is his YouTube network. I want to bring this up. He has a great way of just making sure that everybody has, like, he's not like, boom, watch this, subscribe, hit the bell. Guess what? Boom. Dieter, I got you there. You just got subscribed by my the Delight Digital Network. We're all about spreading positivity. We focus on making sure that we put a digital cafe out there because there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of animosity, there's a lot of people that, like you said, it's hard to talk about things, and we don't usually have a church conversation because of the fights that come in. Totally. And people, and I love how you came in and you're like, sorry, I just stepped on the wire and everything almost fell on top of me. I'm like watching all my lights shake. I'm like, oh, this is good. But like you came in with this energy of, wait, I'm not your typical one. And people like that because everybody knows what it's like to be in that situation where they feel they're being talked down to about their faith.
Sure.
But having that understanding of we're not all the same. We're out here spreading love and positivity, and I want to just give back. That's exactly what we do here at the Delight Digital Network. It's about wanting to change the world by starting with ourselves, and that's what we preach here. So I think you are an epitome of what we're supposed to be like in faith, and I like that about you, and thank you for that. I subscribed me. And without Brett Gordon, our guy in the back who's helping run today, I didn't even let him know. I subscribed him to your network as well.
I love it.
And then I subscribed as Delight for the YouTube because I want to be able to see some of your messages and what you got. And you're getting followers. People are posting it. Even Mandy Atterbury, I love how she said she's gone through a rough year and she's been commenting a lot to us about what she's been up to and all that. And she's growing in her faith and her strength. And she's calling herself the comeback queen now. And
love
the
it.
way to change the world is starting with changing that mindset of yourself. So
100%.
Gavin brought you in. Gavin brought the show in, I should say. I'm going to, we're coming towards the last couple parts of the episode, and we only have a few minutes left, but what we do here is a little different, we end each episode with saying a way we want to leave a positive impact on the world. We leave it where we're getting at the end of the episode where everybody leaves with positivity. What's fun about this is it's Hemp Day, Hump Day, Wednesday, whatever day you want to call it. It is the day where you can go out, get a little hemp to calm you down, get a little hump to calm you down, whatever you need, okay? And get you through the week. But I will go first, Gavin will go second, and then you'll go last so you see how it goes. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to go hit subscribe. Do not forget to go follow him and sign up for Dieter's website and information. Great message. Even though you might not be religious, guess what? This wasn't religion. This was about you. This was about the fire in you. This is about building the best in you. Do yourself a favor and go hit subscribe. Now, I say that to say, without really truly wanting to break yourself of bad habits, break yourself of wanting to build a better you, no one's going to make that change. Take today to get over that hump. It's literally the middle of the week. You have Thursday and Friday still to get through. But if you could start today just getting over that hump, maybe it's waking up, drinking a bottle of water. Maybe it's listening to one of our podcasts, or maybe it's going and subscribing to Dieter's podcast. At the end of the day, start something new that puts you going in the right direction. The best thing in life are still coming ahead of us.
So what I would like, I think one of the biggest things that we can start doing, not only for self-progress, but progress for our community, is learn how to have a healthy disagreement with people. If you have something that you are very passionate about, and maybe you're very good already at having healthy disagreements about most things, but find something that you're very, very passionate about, and then understand that some people might not agree with that. and learn how to still see them as a human being, as an equal, as another individual, even though you don't agree on that. Whatever that may be, whatever that top may be, whether it is how to live a healthy life, whether it's maybe guns or abortion or how much you should make to be sustainable and happy, whatever it is that you're passionate about, find a way to have a healthy disagreement about that. Because once you're able to find the thing you're most passionate about and have healthy disagreements from it, everything else under it will come so much easier. And then you'll learn how to stay calm, you'll learn how to compromise, and you'll learn how to properly communicate with people. You can build those bridges and not burn them down.
Okay, so I think that the important test to apply to your life is if it's worthwhile, it is not subject to entropy. And what I mean by that is if it's important, it doesn't run out. In fact, you get more when you give it. I mean, when you give love, you get more love. It's like that Magic Penny song. When you give inspiration, you get more inspiration. It's true of everything that's important, art and truth and love and beauty and you name it. So today, stop chasing things that run out because they can't tell you who you are. Instead, take today and think about what is it in my life that when I give it, I get more of it. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. It doesn't matter if you're here to cure cancer or just here to perfect a chocolate chip cookie recipe. There's something that you do that when you do it, you feel paid by it. You lose track of time when you're doing it. You'll stand out in the rain to do it. That is what's your calling. So find some little thing. Doesn't matter how big or small. Doesn't matter if anybody else understands it. Most people won't understand it. Find something that when you do it, it creates more. And that breeder-reactor quality of your heart will change the world.
I love that. Well said.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody once again for being with us here this morning. Thank you, Joe, for working us out. And thank you, Dieter, for all of your amazing words. Seriously, it was a wonderful conversation. Really loved having you on. We'd love to stay in contact. Love to have you on again in the future for that.
Anytime. Just give me a call.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, who liked, who followed all of our stuff, commented. We will see you all again tomorrow, bright and early, same place, same time. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks a lot.